we've all been there. You sit down for a quick session of your favorite game and it ends up taking way longer than you expected. In fact, something like this happened to me just the other day. What? Jeez. How long? What the? Is that a beard? How long have I been playing these games? How long have I been playing these games? Look! It's Christmas! Again! Let's go! You smell that, kids? That's the smell of Christmas!
It ain't fucking Christmas.
Of course, I later found out it wasn't really Christmas. Fucking weather. But it did get me thinking about how time-consuming some games can be. Video games just seem to make time fly, but there are a few games that I can name that are key culprits of this, and I'm going to. It's a top 5 video, in case you can't read.
Grand Theft Auto. Famous for its quirky take on the criminal lifestyle and walking the line between genius and complete madness. All the games I've played have hooked me good, but I think the most compelling entry has to be GTA 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 took what everybody already knew and loved about the franchise and expanded upon it in almost every way. It's the GTA we all know and love, wrapped up in a gorgeous looking exterior. This game is massive, in scale and content. As if it wasn't enough that it had a super compelling storyline, great characters, great dialogue, and a shit ton of side missions and activities, they went ahead and made a fully functioning multiplayer universe with even more activities. There's just so much you can do in GTA 5, but I think the thing I was drawn to most was the story. Franklin, the ex-gangster, Michael, the washed-up bank robber, and Trevor, the glorified meth head, are all intriguing and brimming with personality. And if all of this isn't enough for you, you can always go online and explore the many multiplayer options that await you there. There's so many things you can do outside of the awesome story though, like rent a golf cart and golf, pimp out and street race your cars, try out your tennis skills against bots and friends, plan out and execute bank robberies, go for a relaxing hike, go for a nice refreshing swim in the ocean, and even scour the city for famous drug dealers and kick the shit out of them. Yeah, now who's the one who knocks? It's me. Blizzard has been making time-consuming games since before I can remember. Whether it's Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft, or even World of Warcraft. Well, maybe not after they went all Kung Fu Panda on us. But whatever Blizzard game you played, you know you played it way longer than you expected. Now I think I could make up this list almost entirely out of Blizzard games, but for the sake of diversity, I'm going to pick one of my personal favorites, Warcraft 3. This is a real-time strategy game, and in my opinion it's Blizzard's best. I mean sure, StarCraft is cool if you like guns and spaceships, but I feel like the classic medieval army feel is much more my style. And the quirky atmosphere is just awesome. How can you get frustrated when your soldiers have such lines as,
"The horse kicked me once. It hurt."
And,
"You're the king? Well, I didn't vote for you."
Nobody did.
"Help! Help! I'm being repressed!"
This game has a nice juicy story mode that is made up of a bunch of scenarios that tie in with the main story. You also get to play as 4 different races and they all feel a lot different. The objective may vary in each scenario, but the general theme is to wipe out your enemy and survive long enough to do this. And to do this, you'll need lots of buildings. Some of them to build troops, some of them to upgrade your troops' abilities, and other ones just to allow you to have more troops in general. Then you battle. Run! Run away! It's a massacre! Unfortunately, I'm not very good at this part. Now the story mode is nice, but the place where I wasted the most of my time was battling friends online. It's amazing how quick that little game you were planning on playing can turn into an all-out battle to the death that can last hours at a time, even if you're playing against me. You see, this guy knows how to play. Not me.
"Strike with great vengeance!" It hurt.
Whether you think it's awesome or nerdy, everybody has heard of Pokemon. Now I may not watch the shows or play the card games, but one thing I've always loved, ever since I was a little kid, was the games. It all started when my dad brought home an old Game Boy with one game in it, Pokemon Fire Red. I played that game for hours and hours on end, beat every gym, got every badge, learned the basics of gambling, and even made it to the Elite Four with my favorite Pokemon, Blastoise. You know the feeling, that new sense of adventure and excitement you got when you started your first ever Pokemon adventure. And that's when I learned the most valuable lesson ever. Train your Pokemon equally. Turns out a level 50 Blastoise can't single-handedly take down the Elite Four. Who knew? Of course I had to start my adventure all over again, but it was okay because you can replay Pokemon again and again and it can be different every time. Just choose different Pokemon. I personally have played every single Pokemon game and have put at least 40 hours in every single one. There's just something so addictive about exploring the many types of Pokemon, training them up, and putting them to the test against the many gym leaders. Recent Pokemon games have been pretty easy and bland. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Pokemon Y. But you have to admit, Pokemon is one addictive game. It's that just one more battle feeling that can hook you for hours at a time. If I had to recommend one of them to someone who has never played a Pokemon game before, I think Heart Gold or Soul Silver would be my first choice. In my opinion, it had the best Pokemon, the best soundtrack, and just generally the best overall experience. But whichever one you pick, you're sure to be hooked, even if some of the Pokemon are complete garbage.
Look at this piece of shit. How do you even make fun of that? How do you even make fun of that? It's a joke in itself. I don't even need to say anything. Look at it. It's a fucking trash bag. I'm out here. This is fucking ridiculous.
Roller Coaster Tycoon has been a favorite of mine ever since I got it free in a box of Cheerios so many years ago. Now that's value. In this game, you build and manage a theme park that's only limited by your imagination. This game has had 3 different entries over the years, and to be honest, any of them still hold up today. But if I had to choose a favorite, I'd have to say it's the second one. Unfortunately, you can't record the second one, so I have to use the third one. As for gameplay, you can just start building a theme park in the sandbox mode, or if you want an actual challenge, you can have a go at the missions that give you a certain deadline to build a park and complete an objective in a predetermined area like an abandoned city or on a tropical island. To fulfill these objectives, we'll need rides, and a lot of them. This game will follow the continuous cycle of building a ride and waiting for the money to roll in. Not only is this extremely addictive, but also super rewarding when you finally build your dream theme park. Luckily, there are a lot of rides to choose from, but my favorites are obviously the roller coasters. If you're lazy, you can pick pre-made designs, but if you're cool, you build your own. Let's try it out. Perfect! I'm gonna call this one the Mistress because it destroys families. Come and ride the Mistress, guys! Here they go! See? Fun. Where the heck is this guy going?
Because in a tragic incident like this, the smart thing to do is just run away from any salvation.
As you may have noticed by now, another good source of fun is terrorizing your guests. Ever wondered what would happen if a rabid pack of grizzlies got loose in Disneyland? Well, you can do that. Don't worry, I'm here to save you. Those pesky humans won't bother you anymore. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Now what can I say about Skyrim? First of all, it's practically endless. In fact, it took one of my friends over 250 hours to fully complete it.
To say I've been playing a lot of Skyrim is a major understatement. I think the best way to say it is I've been playing Skyrim 6 to 10 hours a day.
It's that long, but it's also extremely fun.
I don't feel proud of myself. I feel very dirty.
The thing I love most about Skyrim is that it's completely open world. You can do anything at any time. All places are available from the start, and so is almost every quest. The amount of possibilities are practically endless, and you can play this game for hours on end without it getting old. Seriously, the amount of quests in this game is crazy, and none of them feel like simple fetch quests or filler. They all feel like they have significant purpose. There's something for everyone here. Like stealth? There's quests for that. Want to reenact Twilight? There's quests for it. Want to help a little kid kneeling over a dismembered body kill the patron of his orphanage? Surprisingly, there's a quest for that too. Quests will send you all over this huge, beautiful overworld filled with lots of sights to see, and it's so easy to just go from quest to quest that you'll definitely lose track of time. And if you ever get bored of just doing quests, the amount of mods on the PC version is off the charts. Here's one I found particularly interesting. Out of all the games on my list, I feel like I've put the most hours into Skyrim, and it still feels like I've barely scratched the surface. That's how big Skyrim is. Some days I'll just sit down to have a quick game and I'll end up playing all day or night. It's just that easy to be sucked into the atmosphere of this game, and that's why it's the king of my list.
Thanks for watching this terrible top 10 video. It's not even a top 10. Thank you for watching this terrible top 5 video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and do everything that you like to do, and I'll just kill myself. You smell that, kids? That's the smell of Christmas. You smell that, kids? That's the smell of Christmas. Honestly, I live another day. Woo. No. Leave.
Try it again.